All right. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome again to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. I believe it's show number 13, and I have another great show scheduled with two great guests. And believe me, it takes a lot to find great guests. Um, Ron Brown and Steve Carpenter, they're two of the best drone pilots that I know. And they're very knowledgeable about drones. And I know you're going to learn a lot. And if anybody has any questions in the chat, don't be afraid to ask them or me, and we'll try to answer them the best we can. But it's one of those things where I appreciate everybody who's watching the show tonight. Right now, um, it's dinner time. A lot of you should be eating dinner. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch. So, without further ado, just going to welcome in some of the people in the chat. And TJ, you were number one. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And Marcus, good to see you all the way from Idaho. Steve Jones, how you doing? Texas. And Steve is a sergeant. He's in charge of their drone unit, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch, Steve. Jose Mendez, how you doing? And I'm sure a few more will be popping in. And Russell Glerum, how you doing? But anyway, I flew a lot this week, and I had big plans to fly my drone at Peanut Island this week from my boat. I did a little fishing, and I caught a fish, which is, a little different. Most of the time, I haven't been catching fish. But I caught a nice jack, and if I knew how to share, I would share it. But I caught and released that jack, and then I went on over by the port of Palm Beach, and I wanted to try to catch some barracuda. And sure enough, as soon as I put the line out, I caught a big barracuda. I mean, and I was fighting it, and after a 10-minute fight, I had it to the side of the boat. I reached down, made the mistake of grabbing, and I wish I thought to bring it in as a prop, but I didn't. I grabbed the fishing lure, and when I lifted this barracuda, it was 4 feet. This is no exaggeration. I measured it. It shook its head. It embedded the hook into my thumb. I mean, deep. And I posted the video about an hour ago. It should be up. And I had to go to the emergency room. I couldn't go to Peanut Island and fly drones. I had to get back, and I went to the emergency room, and they ended up numbing it and cutting the hook. But there's a little bit about that in my video, so it's totally different. This video I posted is totally different. But let me say hello to a few more people, and then we're going to bring in our first guest. And Jeff, how you doing? Carolina Airshots. And Tomas, how you doing? Johnny Drone Flyer, good to see you. And TJ Grady, good to see you. But anyway, that's enough of my fish story. So we're going to get right in and bring in our first guest. And he's going to come to us all the way from New Jersey, Ron Brown. Welcome.
Freezing cold New Jersey, Ray.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, you got snow, right?
Well, almost 2 weeks ago now, but we've had a lot of cold weather since that big snow. What's the temperature in Florida today, Ray?
Today it hit 69. Yeah, it's a little chilly today.
Yeah, be good for us, and and I heard that story you were telling. Sounds like kind of a blood and guts story there with a bad thumb in the emergency room and all that. Yeah, it's going to be a hard video to watch. Though you talked about Peanut Island. When I come down to Florida, and I will be down there the whole month of March to help Ray with the Great Florida Meetup, we would love to. Susan's been reading about Peanut Island too. We found there's a ferry boat to get over there. We'd love to meet you out on maybe Peanut Island and go for an adventure.
Well, I want you to come on my boat, and I'll take you to Peanut Island.
Okay. Great.
We'll do a little trolling along the way, maybe catch a fish, and then we'll go to that secret spot where we can fly our drones.
Sounds like a great. We're looking forward to Peanut Island. So I'm glad you were talking about it in the pre-show there. So be like a little mini meetup on Peanut Island. People don't know Peanut Island was wasn't it like the safe retreat for one of the presidents at one
Yeah,
time?
yes, it was. Yes, yeah. I put a little history in some of my videos about it. But John Kennedy, President Kennedy,
Okay.
he had a bunker on Peanut Island, and he actually evacuated there during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The
Oh
bunker
wow.
is still there, but they don't allow the public to go in it anymore. But it's still
Oh.
there. Maybe you'll be able to find it with your drone.
Okay. It's secret located also. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Well, it is. It's covered over with brush now, so it's hard to see. But if you got your
Oh.
drone down, you might be able to spot it.
Is Peanut Island pretty is it pretty sparse out there?
Yes, yeah. It's really not
Okay.
crowded. There's a walking trail around the whole island, and there's camping sites on one part of the island. There's a diving lagoon on the other part, and then we got this day dock where you could bring your boat in and tie up during the day. It's really, really
Are there any food or drinks out there? Like, do they have
no.
like a
You got to
little?
bring your own. You have to
I bring
bring
your
your
own.
own.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's restroom facilities and showers, but you got to bring food and drink. But we'll have a
Okay.
good time. I guarantee that.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I
but
didn't know it was a
Ron,
resort island or what. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ray.
no, 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 no. I
I
first
see we
I
got some
want to
new
say,
people in here. Maddie's Drone World came in. Max Air
yeah, Max,
420. Fly Guy
Maddie.
Morel. Mikey B, the Drone Range. You got a whole lot of people in
Oh
here
yeah,
now.
good, good, great. Thank you guys for coming in. And thank you for watching the chat, Ron. I get
Always
tied up
trying to
in the
help. Always
story.
trying to help out. You know what? I'm always trying to please here.
Yeah, Ron. I know a lot of people don't know your story. Certain people in the chat do, but tell us how you became involved with drones and what your first drone was.
Yeah, unlike a lot of people who got in this for the flying and drone part, I've been an amateur photographer basically since I took a college photography course or whatever, around about 1980. Remember the 80s, Ray? That was a long
Oh,
time ago.
yeah,
Yeah. This is
yeah.
barely just the beginning of the 80s. So, back then we were shooting film cameras and, developing our own film and all that old school stuff. So I kind of kept my hand in it, the film thing. And then when the digital photography rolled around in 2000s, it kind of re-energized me again, right? So I really got
Okay.
into photography even more when you could get your images the right way. You didn't have to wait for, say sending film off or whatever to a developer. So then roll around and like the mid 2010, like 10 10s, it was around 2015. I started, you saw people have drones, and then there was a guy called Trey Ratcliffe who's kind of a famous internet photographer, and he got the drones early on. I think he had like the early phantoms, and he was taking these unbelievable photos from these drones, angles you never saw before. And I was thinking, oh man, if I could only get those shots, I would be the best
Hmm.
or whatever. So I thought, well, I got to figure out how to get into this drone stuff. So I got kind of the same drone he was using and so on. And at first, I only took pictures. I was flying a while before I actually turned the video camera on.
Okay, okay. But it. I wish I knew more about photography. I sort of got into video right off of the bat when I was on the police department, and then I had a TV fishing show, but I wish I knew more about photography. Because it really helps you when you're flying your drone.
Yeah, when you learn stuff like in school, you kind of think at the time you're learning, you think, I'll never use this, whatever. But all that stuff we learned about, like the prism of light and all this stuff back in these college courses, kind of stuff of putting you to sleep when the professor was telling you about it. You kind of use it all now. I still kind of use it all. It still makes sense. I still use all the old stuff I learned, over 40 years ago, in college. So it is amazing how some of that stuff sticks with you for a long time.
So how many drones do you have?
Well,
And
I've
what's
been
your
through so many drones over the years. I'm trying to, not have drones that don't fly anymore. So, okay, here's basically my baseline up, Ray. I go small with the Mini 2. I
Yep.
go mid-size with the Air 2S, and I kind of go full size with the Phantom 3 and the Altel Evo 2 Pro, the big, not these newer, little Evos. I got the big Evo, and I've still got my DJI Mavic 2 Pro, but I'm trying to sell it. So if anybody wants a
Oh,
Mavic
there
2
you go.
Pro deluxe kit, I got like the smart controller for it. Just ping me or whatever. So I'm trying to sell that, and that's it really. Now, I do have the Tello. Remember the little Tello drone? I have the little Tello
Yeah, I've
around.
heard of
And
them.
I
I
have a
heard
couple
about
old
them.
toy drones that I'm trying to sell off. I mean, I basically, I just got it for review or whatever. I mean, little teeny nothing drones.
But you got a large fleet there. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I mean, I really only want to have the 4 drones, the 3
Right.
Mavics and the Altel Evo. Anything else is in the process of being sold.
Well, now, do you have a Mavic 3?
I have the Mavic 3. I
Yeah.
purchased it.
How do
Remember,
you like that? How do you like
I
your
like it a
Mavic
lot. I
3?
mean, I didn't have it as soon as some people because remember, I was on the road. I didn't go right back to spin them, so I couldn't have it ordered and come to my house when I wasn't there. So I got mine maybe a week or 2 later. Most people, I mean, a story I guess everybody's going to talk about tonight. You saw Original Dobo, Ken Dono's going to return his or whatever, and for various issues. And I have to say that I'm not wouldn't even think about returning mine. It's already close to being my favorite drone. I mean, it does
Okay.
have its downsides, Ray. It does get the satellites real slow. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
slowest drone I have for getting satellite. That's a real con. I mean, it's a real thing. It's not just people making up. And I think his other 2 cons were the crooked horizon. It does have it, but usually if you calibrate your gimbal before your flight, you're usually good. And the third con, he said disconnection issues. I've never seen a disconnect on mine. So that may be something more related just to his drone.
Right. I know. I've never had
But
that
no,
issue either.
but here's the pluses, Ray. Flight time, it flies much longer than the drone I have. It stays in the air forever. The camera, just put full auto, not adjust anything. The pictures, the video are close to anything I have without changing one setting.
I know. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. And I don't consider waiting for satellites a bad thing. I really don't,
Yeah, I mean, the
And
only thing is if you're trying to get a shot that's disappeared, like if it's sunset and the sun's sinking down and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, the sun's getting lower and lower. Or the other thing, if you're doing the sunrise and you miss it because the drone's trying to get satellites, I mean, there is cases where you do need to take off in a timely fashion. So,
well, you know what happened to me, Ron? I'll tell you this story, and it happened twice now with the Mavic 3. As I was waiting for it to the satellites to come in, and I see people walking a dog, but they're way down. They're way down.
yeah.
So finally, the satellites come in, and I get it to take off and start hovering, and try to get its home point. That's recommended, right? But as soon as those dogs come close to the drone, they lunge for the drone, and you got to get it up quick.
Yeah.
And it happened twice to me now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because it's slow salads. John Coopy's in chat. Hello, John. And John says, let's hope that the Mavic Mini 3, when it releases, doesn't have the same satellite setup as the Mavic 3. And John, good point. But do you think that the slow satellites is a hardware issue that'll never, ever go away, or it's something that could be fixed via a firmware update? That is the big question. And I mean, from an engineering standpoint, I don't know the answer. I'd say I hope that it's a firmware issue that will be fixed when that big firmware update comes out that brings the rest of the features that we were promised to the Mavic 3.
Exactly. I know.
And another thing to John here directly, you notice, John, that it's funny. You get some real cheap little GPS drone that can barely fly down the street, but yet it gets the satellites in immediately. I mean, do you think, I mean, it's acquiring satellites? I mean, if it's all just hardware, how comes the cheaper drones seem to get them faster than the good drones or whatever? So I kind of think it may be somewhat of a firmware software issue too, but we'll see. John said mine gets satellites pretty quickly. It may be East Coast thing. Yeah. Oh, that's Marcus saying that. Yeah.
Marcus. Yeah, that's Marcus. Yeah. I'm to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to the Mini 3. I hope it does come out in April. Like there's rumors that it may come out in April.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. We have it, when you'll start, like a Cedar Lev and what's the other guy, when they really start tweeting out almost daily or weekly, more leaks and leaks. We know it's getting closer and closer to being a real thing. And, you know, a lot of people are looking forward to it because they want a mini drone with a better camera, and the Autel Nano Plus certainly has a better camera, but the Nano's a little bit more money than a lot of people were wanting to pay. I think, Ray. I mean,
Right.
how do you
No,
feel?
I agree. I was looking forward to that, and then I mean, they're saying it's a better drone, better camera, and that's why the price point is so much higher. But if it was cheaper, I would have bought it. But I just don't feel it's worth
Yeah.
it for
Yeah.
me.
I mean, definitely it's got a better camera. You can see it's got a better camera, but you've seen issues where it has trouble in the wind and it kind of flies slow. Whether that could be fixed by a firmware update, I do not know.
Well, I know it's nice to see Johnny flying it, and Johnny is having a lot of good luck with it, you know, and the video and the photos it's taken, I think it's incredible.
Yeah,
Really?
Johnny looks like he got a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny's very first flight, he got some great pictures and video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But anyway, we'll see. So Ron, now you got some great places in New Jersey to fly. You know, I've been meaning to get down to visit you for a couple of years now, and I plan on doing it when I get back in May. And but what are some of your favorite places in New Jersey to fly?
You know, we don't have a lot of, you know, we have a lot of lighthouses. Like, you know, well, you know, you have some in Florida. We have lighthouses. The one in Cape May is a very beautiful lighthouse. We have one up Atlantic City that you kind of planned to fly before. It's not quite the scenic location that the one in Cape May is, but I mean, you can get that ocean to see the background, which is very beautiful. There's one on, you know, the island north of Brigantine, LBI. There's one north end of LBI. So the coast is littered with lighthouses you can film. I love filming around the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk.
I know. Yeah, you got the
That was
beach there,
the
the
site of the meetup.
boardwalk.
The site of the meetup. A lot of the guys got photos of the amusement rides because even in the wintertime, like the Ferris wheel lights are still on, so there's still kind of a good shots to get all along. You know,
And you got
all along.
Lucy, right? Lucy.
Oh, we forgot Lucy Alpha, but Lucy is under wraps right now. So I got bad news. I bet you Lucy's still under wraps in May. I bet you they don't get that thing finished until if they get it finished by Memorial Day. That'll be a miracle.
Well, will you call the mayor, please? Tell him that we're planning on Meetup.
Well, guess what? Lucy's a private enterprise. Lucy's
Oh, is that right?
not owned by the city. It's a
Oh,
private concern. There's a group, a group of concerned citizens took over Lucy, I think in the 70s. So Lucy is not a
okay.
money drain on the taxpayers. Lucy is self-sufficient. I
Oh,
mean, she
okay.
may get maybe some stuff from the state, but she's not a tax burden on the town. She raises, but you pay to go in and tour Lucy. They have a gift shop, so Lucy's kind of what you want. Lucy's supports herself.
That's good. That's good. But that's one of the places I do want to fly.
I just hope
That's
Lucy's
on my list.
yeah. I just hope Lucy's clear by the time you get down there.
And if you ever come out to Long Island to visit me, I'm going to bring you to the Big Duck. You know, we got the Big Duck.
Yeah. You saw the big duck.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
when you come down to Florida, you and I are going to have some great places to fly again. You know, the Jupiter
I'd like another
Lighthouse.
shot. I'd like another shot at the lighthouse.
Yeah, I know. I love it there. And I'm sure Maddie, maybe he'll come up even before the meetup. He'll fly with us one day,
Great.
maybe. You know,
Great. And I only flew there one time, but I love flying to Juneau Pier at sunrise.
yeah, I was down there last week actually.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, I went down there and a couple of days. I went down by the pier. It's just beautiful. You know, the sun
It's a
is
great location
rising.
because they have plenty of parking there. They have public bathrooms.
Right.
They have like little, they have, things you can get out of the sun. So it's a great area.
Yeah. Now you never went to the Lakeside Park with me, right here in North Palm Beach. So maybe one day you want to do that.
You took me to that little park where the Skydio went.
Yeah, that was the Sawfish Park in
There was a
Jupiter.
train station there.
Right. Yeah, the old train station is right there. And that's a great place to fly right there.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but hey, John Bonifant, how you doing? All the
Hello,
way
John.
from Rhode Island.
And
Good to
Flying
see
Fin
you.
Media is in here with us now.
Yeah, how you doing, John? Good to see you.
Hello, John. Travel Tech 360.
Yeah, Robbie, all the way from Thailand. And we were saying that yesterday.
That's Robbie's handle.
Yeah, that's his channel.
Oh, I didn't know that's Robbie's handle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, good to see you, Robbie.
Yeah, good to see you there,
and
Robbie.
Ron, I gotta plug Robbie again. I do it just about every show, but Robbie and the World Drone Community is sponsoring the South Florida Drone Meetup. They are donating a Mini 2 as a raffle prize, and a GoPro camera and some action cams. So I got to say thank you to Robbie again.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you so much.
And I got to give the Rhode Island Drone Meetup group some credit too, because they're donating a Mini 2 as a raffle prize.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And while we're talking about the South Florida Drone Meetup, I got to plug Pilot Institute, because they already sent me all these beautiful lanyards that the attendees, the first 125 attendees will get one of these lanyards. And then Brad, of course, is going to make up the ID cards as the insert. And he said that he's going to make up the coasters again for the meetup people.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be another great time, Ron.
And while you're talking about this, could you get the date out and location again for anybody that hasn't heard about it?
That's right. The date is April 2nd, 2022.
And that's a Saturday, correct, Ray?
Saturday, and it's in Jensen Beach, Florida. But it's really a weekend type event. But that's the official day. But they'll be flying on Sunday also, and then we got a fishing trip. A morning fishing trip scheduled for Monday on a big 70-foot party boat.
Wow.
So, and for people that are into that, they can sign up for that. There is a fee for that though.
But the actual event on Saturday is free. Is that correct, Ray?
Yes. Free. Yeah.
You can't be free. You can't be free, people.
We got the official list right here. I'm up to the second page. 61 people signed up, say they're coming already. So it's going to be a great event. And thank you for coming, Ron. And so many people in the chat that say they're coming also.
We got Arizona Drone Dude joined us. And
hey, David. How you doing?
Phantom Flight 101's in here. Well, you know Herman. You've done meetups with Herman up in New York, and
Herman and Lawrence. They're coming to the South Florida Drone Meetup.
Oh, great! They were at the Ken Heron Boardwalk Meetup. Ray, you have to fly up for the Boardwalk Meetup sometime.
I will. I know.
You were in California. I know you,
right?
Yeah, you in California. Yeah. We should do Kent was coming to do a summer boardwalk meetup last year, but his Mazda engine blew up or whatever. Maybe there'll be a summer boardwalk meetup this year.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. But Herman and Lawrence, they want their hotel to be kept secret.
They're
I'm not allowed to tell where they're staying.
Yeah, we'll keep that under military grade security. Hey, no joke around. They're both great guys. It's great to meet him. I wish I saw him more often. I've met Herman 2 years in a row now at the Boardwalk Meetup, and Lawrence this year. They're great guys. They really are.
They are. I know. Yeah, and Herman's show was on Wednesday night at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and Lawrence's show was on Sunday night at 5 p.m.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But anyway, I know Steve's probably ate up all the potato chips, so we're gonna have to
better get him in here. Yeah.
He's making faces at me.
We're lucky Steve didn't get wiped away by that tsunami.
All right,
Steve. Beef jerky.
Welcome.
Welcome in, Steve.
And Steve comes to us all the way from California. Yeah.
Now, Steve, is California underwater at the present time, or did you survive the tsunamis?
No problems here in Dana Point, thank God. The problem was up in the northern area, up above Santa Cruz, Monterey, into the San Francisco Bay Area, and even further up north. They had some damage and some boat and dock damage up there in their harbors. But when we got the alert, I hopped up out of bed. We were sleeping in, and I ran out the door. I grabbed my drone, I ran up the door, and I put it up and zoomed in down the beach because I figured I could watch to see if the tide was being pulled out from the house.
Yeah.
And didn't anything. I was up for probably about, I want to say about 25 minutes. And of that, about 15 minutes passed when it was supposed to hit us, and didn't see a thing. No water surges or anything, and I didn't hear anything from the harbor.
Well, you were lucky then. You got to consider it. You were lucky, you know.
Wow, and you were able to use your drone for a little search and rescue type of mission there.
I was just watching to see how many surfers were going to go out and hit the water with the waves.
They do the same thing. They do the same thing here, Steve. Those big waves, the waves that most people they told to get off the beach from the surfers go out in them. Yeah,
exactly.
The surfers love it, no doubt about it.
Well,
but Steve, you know,
they pulled one surfer out of the water. They had to pull him out and rescue him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ray. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I want to thank you again for the invite and that little meetup that we had with you and Dre and my son and his wife down at Dana Point Harbor. You know, I had a great time, you know, and I know my son and his wife had a great time also.
I'm happy. It was fun meeting and finally being able to meet up with you in person after we'd been communicating, trying to make it happen, you know, but the wonderful health conditions put a crimp on everything.
Oh yeah.
And the harbor itself, I mean, I didn't realize it was so big, you know, and you were telling us a little history about the harbor there, but it's really a great place to fly drones.
It is. It's a fun place to fly drones, and on the peninsula, what we call the island, it's nice there, and we lucked out because I told you, we were going to originally meet up by the Harbor Patrol office and fly there because that one covered canopy is usually always taken first thing in the morning, and it sits right up by the harbor entrance, so it's a nice place to be able to see boats coming in and out of the harbor and down the main channel. But it's a good size harbor. We got 20, not counting commercial, we've got 2,409 slips here.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And now we'll talk about your fleet of drones, Steve. Now, do you have a large fleet?
Not compared to Ron, that's for sure. I was sitting there.
Again, I only have 4 drones. Every other drone is being sold. Yeah, only 4.
I have my original Mavic Pro. I still have it. I love it. And I have the Air 2, which was what we flew down there at the harbor. And I'm thinking about other ones, and my gut is telling me to go back to a good old Phantom 4 V2.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's
classic.
bigger, but the camera, because I know you were talking about, you know, knowing more about photography. I'll send you a couple of links to a good couple of photographers that are out there. They have some good basic courses you can listen to on YouTube. And if you get just what they call the golden triangle down, and you get that down, and that makes a huge difference when you're filming.
Right.
And, you know, most people do use ND filters. And that's one thing you can do is not have to use an ND filter if you've got an adjustable aperture. Now on the Phantom, on the Mavic 3, you've got adjustable aperture.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Well, Dre, did you see that Phantom that Dre had? That was pretty impressive.
And the Phantom even has the Phantom 4 Pro V2, just say the Phantom 4 Pro has that mechanical
Shutter.
that everybody wants too, or whatever too. You know, kind of a old school mechanical shutter. Most of the other drones just have the digital shutter. That's kind of favored among the mirrorless camera generation out now.
And you know what's ironic though is, you know, because of the mirrorless generation with you know, DSL cameras, and I won't say DSLR, which I do have. I still have it. And because I followed along the same almost storyline as you, Ron. I used to shoot 35 millimeter, you know, and took classes and, you know, process all your film and everything and get it, you know, all done, and then, you know, produce your final product. And then when DSL came out, digital, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like it re-energized me all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that
And
mechanical shutter camera, you know, having that on the Phantom, to this date, it's still the best camera sensor combination out there in the market, I feel, and it's the best for mapping for accuracy.
Right.
I've never heard anything bad about the Phantom 4. I've never heard one thing bad about it.
Well, size.
Yeah.
Wow.
Size.
Okay. Yeah, it's big. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And size is the the big concern there. It's not a foldable drone. You know, you definitely wouldn't. You know, you probably wouldn't want to travel from California to Florida with it. You know, in your suitcase. But for somebody that's using it for, you know, mapping or some kind of enterprise work, you just have in the back of your SUV or car truck. The size doesn't really matter at that point. You just drive up to your location and fly.
Right.
Yeah, because in fact, when I met Chris Hope at the first spin up, he was picking me up at the hotel, and I saw this big suitcase like in the back. I go, Chris, how come you didn't leave your clothes at the hotel? And he goes, that's my drone. And I'm going, what do you got back there? And he goes, I brought my Phantom. And, you know, and being able to have it, because it's got a pull-up handle and roll wheels, which Dre had, because he got his was a Phantom 3.
Right.
And he got that used from somebody closer to where I live. But he picked up
a good deal on it.
$400 with the case, the camera, batteries, everything. Sweet.
And you had to see this case run. I mean, it was a real professional case with the wheels, you know. And when he brought it out of the car, I said, "Wow!" Just that was even before he opened it.
Yeah. I mean, basically, if you do most of your, you know, drone flying, where you basically just fly to where you're gonna, you know, you drive to where you're going to fly, use open the trunk up and roll the case around a little bit of whatever, that the side, that little, having a little fold drone doesn't make any difference at that point. But, it's not good if you're going to be traveling around a lot. And it's not a drone you have with you by accident. Like say the Mini 2, it comes in that little case. You may take the Mini 2 with you someplace. You may never, ever fly, but you take it with you just in case. You don't have the Phantom 4 Pro along with you just in case you may fly. You only have that if you know you're going to fly.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, portability.
And this is not to criticize Rodney Bell by any means, but I don't know if many people in the chat know he crashed his Phantom 4 the other day.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Seconds into the flight.
Oh no,
and it did sustain some damage, quite a bit of damage, in my opinion, quite a bit of damage. But so our thoughts and prayers are with Rodney Bell.
Yeah, sorry to hear that or whatever. When Rodney was at Spin Up in 2019, he was flying he was flying a Spark that weekend. Remember the little DJI Spark drone?
Yeah, I remember that. Sure.
And of course, he probably had the Phantom then, but again, you wouldn't fly from Virginia to Texas with the Phantom unless you were doing a professional job or something. So,
yeah. But anyway, accidents do happen.
Almost anything's bigger, better camera. You know, you could go. Probably a real camera. If you go out and get some, real big hunking camera with real big hunking lenses, of course the quality is going to be better than a little.
I think I got to block this guy, Max. Look what he wrote. I gotta,
Well,
I gotta
maybe,
block him.
maybe he's an all-tell man.
Well,
He's
one thing is
he's
always
an
remember.
FPV guy. He's definitely an
FPV guy.
FPV guy.
Well,
Yeah.
don't the FPV
Uh-huh.
guys use it? Don't they use that DJI digital system to power their FPV drones?
Yeah, speaking of which, B&H just put that FPV combo on sale for $9.99,
Oh wow, how much is it
Okay.
regular?
$12.99,
That's quite a
That's a-
discount.
Yeah, it
$300
is.
off.
Yeah.
It
How you
just
doing,
got
Bill?
posted today.
Yeah. I when Stevie Bronx showed up at the South Florida drone meetup with that drone, I was so fascinated by it. You know, I
Mhm.
thought it was a weird looking drone, you know,
Oh yeah.
but he flew it, you know, and then we had some other people flying theirs, and both those other people had issues where they crashed them, you know. Luckily, Mark Fisher was there to retrieve one of them that went into the intercoastal waterway.
Brought
Is
your
Mark
own
Fisher on
lifeguard.
that? Is Mark Fisher on that list you had on your legal pad, Ray?
Yeah, he's on there.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
he's definitely on there.
Yeah.
But and I gotta tell you about Mark Fisher. He's going to be giving an editing presentation at the South Florida Drone Meetup.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who want to learn a little bit more about editing, make sure you get a hold of Mark. And,
Editing. What's edit? What's editing?
editing is a big thing on your videos. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
flying obviously and getting the shots, but you got to know how to edit your videos.
Yeah,
And they
you
don't have to
definitely
be real
do.
fancy, but you got to know how to edit them.
And Mark just made like a commercial for I think a chicken place or wing place,
Chicken
right?
place. I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
chicken place. Yeah.
And look, it looks excellent too. Compliment. He's not in here, but it was a great job.
Hey, Matt Bagwell, how you doing?
Hey,
And
Matt.
Ron Lockwood. I don't know if I said hello to you, Ron and Gary, Brand
Yeah,
Arias.
Ron Lockwood's in here.
Michael Flyzone, how you doing?
Bill from Coast to Coast Drones is in here. Brand Aerials.
Got a great crowd in the house. They knew we had I had two great guests on. That's why. So
Thank you, Ray. I'll send you that check in the mail.
but Steve, when did you get involved with drones and how far back was it?
Well, let's see. The first spin up, I actually got involved with drones about a year beforehand, and the three people that really got me involved was Kelly of Ready Set Drone, Russ of 51 Drones, and Ed Ricker, because they had all put out videos about the Mavic Pro, because I was looking at it, and then they had announced that the Mavic 2 was going to be coming out. And I thought, do I want to wait? And how long is it going to be? Or I buy the drone and start flying. So it was the tutorials that actually Russ came out with, and Ed Ricker.
Ed Ricker did a great series of
extensive
videos,
tutorials that they did, both of them. And the other one who did a really good tutorial on it too, and that I was following back then, and it was before he was even been invited to the first one, was Aldrin Anastasio, Flight Path.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So those four people are the ones that kind of got me into the groove, and then started following, the different drone communities and moving around.
And the Mavic Pro was your first drone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Real drone.
And Steve, I have to thank you very much for your stickers. I appreciate them. And just to let everybody know, Steve gave me quite a few extras to give out at the South Florida Drone Meetup.
Ooh.
Just in case he can't make it.
Yeah.
But Steve, thank you very much. And Steve, you're part 107, right?
No, not yet. I'm still studying.
Oh, not yet? Okay. Yep. Okay.
If my project wouldn't have been hitting all these delays with the infamous health situation, I would have had it, but that's gotten put on the back burner, fortunately.
Right. How about you, Ron? Are you part 107?
Yeah, I'm a part 107. I got mine about a year now. I got it last January, or maybe very early. I got it last year. I took the test sort of about the maybe about a year ago this time. And then, of course, you wait a week or so, and a couple of weeks, you actually get the thing in the mail or whatever. But yeah, I'm almost come up with a year, right?
That's great. That's great. Do you use it much? Do you get many commercial jobs?
I don't look for them. I've done a couple small things down here where people have asked me, but I haven't open up a business or put a shingle out there or anything. But I've taken a couple small jobs here with Part 107 license.
Right. It's good to have. I would think I've been saying it, that it's good to get, and here I am. I put it on the back burner. I'm taking the class, but I should finish
But
it.
both of you guys that did the trust test, right?
Yeah. I got my trust certificate. Yeah. And that's a good thing too.
Yeah, definitely it is.
I know when I went out and I talked my son and his wife into taking it. They hadn't taken it, and I said, "You're really supposed to be certified to be flying your drones."
I mean, they almost let it make like the drone makers put it on the side of the box of the drones, that this is where you go, and we recommend you take it or whatever, type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because both of them also said it's a good thing that they learned some things taking that course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at one time you didn't have to get a driver's license to drive a car, but now you do, whatever. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, right? That you have to go get the driver's license. It's a good thing.
Yep, exactly. And I took mine through Pilot Institute, and they took theirs through Pilot Institute.
Right.
But there's other ones that give it also. But
I did my Part 107 through Remote Pilot 101. Not that I think I had bought his course before I even heard about Pilot Institute. So I didn't choose one or the other because I thought they were better. It's just I think it took me when I bought the course years before I actually tried to get it or whatever. So I mean I just that was the only one when I bought the course, the Remote Pilot one.
Right. How you doing? Unlimited vertical?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Same with me. I've had the course from Remote Pilot 101. I says, thank God it doesn't expire.
Yeah, right. And you just got it, whatever it was on, you got it. If you got it like a couple of years back, it was, much less money, of course. So,
well, here we got a question. Who wants to answer that? I'll let one of you guys answer it.
Part 107.
What is that? You want to explain it, Ron? Seeing you have it.
Well, the Part 107 part itself, 107, like I don't know what Part 106 is or Part 108 or if there is even such thing. So I mean I don't know what that the actual Part 107 part stands for, the handle, but what it is the commercial unmanned pilot's license in the U.S. Some people say UAV, commercial pilot. And you just have to learn. I'm going to say a lot of the regulations that real pilots, have to follow. Whatever. So I've heard some people say it's like 70% of what a real pilot has to learn, and you learn about a lot of stuff, airspace and wind and weather conditions, and a lot of it's memorization, but also a lot of it you have to learn to read charts. You have to figure out, a couple calculations about weight and stuff. So it's not all just pure memorization. Memorization. I don't know why I can't say that. But a lot of it, you do have to do some figuring and stuff, use some calculations also. So, it's, I wouldn't call it a college level test or whatever, but it's definitely, it's definitely challenging. It's like, I've heard some people say they just walk in and pass it. I mean, if I just walked in and tried to take it without studying, I would have never passed it. So,
right.
And, the answer question, do I feel like I'm a safer pilot now that I've got it? I would say so. A lot of it you learn doesn't apply every day to, just drone flying, but I did learn things that I believe make me a safer pilot. And what it does for me is not only allows me to take a commercial job, like a real estate job or a mapping or inspection job, but it also allows me to post and sell videos and pictures on any kind of social media site and, and be legal doing it. like if somebody called me up and said they want to buy a whole bunch of drone video of mine, I could legally sell it to them within the guidelines, the FFA and the Part 107. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I got it more to be a social media poster than I did to take drone paying jobs. But so and it's 100. I think it costs it costs a good deal. I forget what it costs to take it now. I think it costs like around about $100 to take the test. But you can get this. Pardon?
165. I heard.
165, but I think that's not a standard fee. Like I know I went to a place where it was less than you can kind of shop around for the rates. It doesn't always cost the same because it's what you take the test to third party testing centers. The FAA doesn't have, like, I didn't go to an actual FAA site. I went to a third party testing facility and took the test. Yeah. So I don't think I paid 165.
Greg Pittman said he paid 175.
Yeah. But folks, go by what they said. I don't have a good memory anymore, so I don't accurately remember what I paid.
Marcus, let's see. Marcus said
96. Yeah, I think I paid less than $100 for mine too. It all depends on the testing center you go to.
Now, when you really know how old Marcus is, it's called inflation.
You're right. I took my test before the big inflation hit, so maybe the 175 is right if you take it now.
Yeah, I know last year, I think, because I remember talking with a friend, he said he had to pay 165 last year when he went to take it at the beginning of the year.
And unfortunately, I think it's that's pass or fail. Like if you go in and fail it, you pay 160 and then you pay 160 the next time. It's not like you pay that. That's not a one-time fee. That's per test.
And for me here, I'm pretty local because with the SNA, which is Orange County Airport here in Orange County, California, not Florida. The flight schools here are the ones that put the the accredited testing centers here. So we've got I think there's 2 or 3 of them here.
Okay, good.
I didn't have to go far either. I just had to drive to a testing center. It was like in the next town off the islands. I mean, it was like, a 10, 15 minute, one-way drive to get to my testing center.
Hey, we got Greg Pittman in the chat. He just come over,
Greg.
Heart surgery. He's on the mend. I hear he's doing well. I had spoke to him last week, and
good to hear.
He's in the chat here, and it's good to see him in the chat. So we're hoping you're feeling a lot better, Greg. And Chris Waters just came in. How you doing, Chris?
And Ray, I don't think I don't think we say anything yet, but Steve will probably go along with. I really want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Kelly Shores, who lost his father last weekend, and Steve and I both got to sit and talk with Kelly's father for quite a while at Spin Up 2019. He sat at our table for dinner, and we got to talk to him a little bit. He was a great guy, great sense of humor. I mean, and he was a veteran of what armed forces, Steve?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah. So in fact, that's why all the kids are named after Air Force bases.
It was a very nice eulogy that Kelly wrote, and
it was really nice.
I felt bad for him.
Terry was such a nice guy. He was sitting next to me and like Ron and Marcus there, and Kelly had come up and said, you mind if my dad joined you? No, not at all. And he goes, well, I know you're in Air Force, so you guys will have a lot to talk about.
Right. That's good.
And he was, and he was just a wealth of knowledge, a very interesting man.
And Steve, let me just say hello to Steven Sutton all the way in Taiwan. He's in Taiwan. He's in quarantine. So I hope you're doing good in quarantine, Steven. Thank you for watching the show. And Steve, I know you probably don't want to talk about you being in the military, but why don't you tell people about it? I found it very interesting. Just share what you want to share.
was in the Air Force. I went into basic training down right next to Kelly Air Force Base, who he is named for, to Lackland, and took my basic training there. And I went up to Shepherd Air Force Base for medical training. I was a medical aerovac. We were the flying hospitals. So we would be transporting, and the time I was in is at the end of the Vietnam War. We were pulling out at that time. So our flights that we would fly on would either be in a converted DC-9s or in C-141s or in the C-5As during the time. Okay. And we would fly from here up the coast a little bit to Travis, and from Travis, from there, we'd go to Hawaii. From there, we'd fly to the Philippines, to Clark Air Force Base, and pick up. And that would be a 2-week trip. And then we'd pick patients up, bring them back to Hawaii. Patients would be distributed to go on to other places. And then we would come back either straight back to where I was at in San Bernardino at Norton Air Force Base, out right by Dre. And we would fly there, but that's mainly what we did. We were flying hospitals.
Well, Steve, thank you for your service. It means a lot. There's no doubt about it. And thank you for sharing it with the viewers.
My pleasure.
Now, Ron, were you in the military?
No, okay. I didn't serve. I was one of those people. I was still in school during the end of the Vietnam War, and then when the war was over, I was one of the few people. I didn't even have to register for the draft. Like people still had to register, but I fell in some kind of window of people that didn't even have to register for it or whatever. Yeah. I never had to go down to the post office.
Well, I had to register, Ron, and as soon as I dropped out of my full-time school, started going part-time, I lost my deferment and I was drafted, number 24.
Oh wow.
But anyway, but back to the viewers in the chat. Let me say hello to Stevie Bronx. Good to see you. And Leonard, JSK, good to see you. We got a great crowd in the house. Thank you guys for coming in. And I tell you, the hour goes by so quick. It really does.
It does.
But you know why the people are in the stream, really? You think it's because of you guys. But it's really to try to win my hat.
I thought there was an alternative reason all these people showed up.
This is the monthly giveaway. And I'm going to do it right now. So pick a color, basic colors, and we'll see whose name goes in for the drawing at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. And you guys are eligible too, because you don't know what it is.
Okay.
So pick a color.
What do you have to do? What do you have to do to win?
Pick a color, a basic color.
And where do we pick it at?
Just put it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of your mind.
Yep.
What's your favorite color?
But I see the correct answer. I see it in there already. So somebody in the chat that put it, and I'm gonna keep the suspense going for about 10 more seconds.
10 more seconds.
And it was Ron Lockwood got it. It was green. If anybody else put it before him, so your name's in the drawing, Ron. Very good.
When you said Ron, I thought I'd won, and I said, well, since I didn't put a color in, that would have been a rigged contest. You win without entering.
Fixed.
Hey, Ken Nita, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Ron, I met Ken Nita at the Jupiter Reef Club. He was staying there, and I met him there, and we became friends, and he was actually studying to get his Part 107 while he was there. Really? And the following week, he took the test and passed it, and he's Part 107 certified now. So congratulations, Ken.
I don't know if
you got a drone. Did you get a drone yet, Ken? Let me know.
Well, maybe he's waiting to win that Mini 2 at the meetup. Yeah,
hopefully he'll come to that also.
Ray, is there any chance we'll see the Mini 3 at the meetup?
Oh my! I hope so. I don't have any inside track with DJI. I wish I did, but I'm going to ask Lauren because he has an inside track. So maybe we can get some information from Lauren.
We'll just get Frank Wang on the horn and see what he can do.
Yeah, right. I know. I would love to see it there. That would be great. But we are giving away 2 mini 2s at the meetup.
I want to know if there's going to be. I want to know when the Phantom 5 is coming out.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be there too.
Yeah. So Ken is still looking. He doesn't know.
Hey, Steve, what would you put in the Phantom 5 that the Phantom 4 V 2.0 doesn't have?
Replaceable lenses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like because then you're going to be able to still go with your mechanical shutter. You can have it with it that they have.
So you want like a kind of a Baby Inspire?
In essence, yeah.
With the replaceable lenses, yeah.
And it's and be able to have the meaning replaceable have the basic lens and shutter that they have on there now, longer flight time, but be able to adapt other types of interchangeable lenses for wide angle, zoom, and also be able to possibly put on FLIR.
FLIR would be great.
Adapted into more of it was technically the commercial side, even though, when it first came out, it was a consumer drone. Then they adapted it into the commercial side when that big hoopah happened at DJI with all the people cashing out and, the theft and embezzlement of money out of there.
Right.
Had the RTK unit coming out.
Yeah.
And that's when they had gone out to, buy up all the other drones off the market.
Thanks for coming in, Bill. Bill's at work, so he had to get back to work.
Good night, Bill. Good seeing you, buddy.
But you mentioned FLIR, a FLIR camera. I would love to see.
I'm going to cut you off for a second, Ray. I better get run here to eat dinner and get ready for the later show. But thanks again for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it, and it was great to be on the show with Steve Carpenter. One of the real good guys in the drone circles here. And sorry you weren't at Spin Up this year, but hopefully I'll see you next go around at Spin Up or whatever. We can hang out again. So
thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
Cat tonight.
And don't forget, everybody, watch Drone Nation at 9 p.m. We'll see you a little later, Ron.
Can I give a secret, Ray? We've got Billy Kyle coming on with us tonight.
Oh, that's good.
Don't tell anybody.
Okay, we won't tell anybody.
Good night,
all right, see you later.
Good night, Ron. Good to see you.
Hey, see that? We got the inside scoop. But anyway, Steve, it's one of those things where the hour just goes by so quickly. It does.
I know.
I was getting ready to wrap up anyway because I don't want to cut into Robbie's time. Him and the World Drone Community is coming right on at 7 with Al Duran. Right. But we had a great show thanks to you and Ron, and I appreciate it, Steve.
Thank you. And it was a pleasure meeting you and being able to meet your wife and your son and your daughter-in-law. That was a blast down there, and we caught that day just perfectly between all those rainstorms.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I started to say before Ron said he had to leave, I was able to fly Rob Kamada's hotel that had a FLIR camera on it, and I really appreciated him letting me fly it. I didn't fly it very high or very long, but I did. I can tell people I flew an hotel that had a FLIR on it. Thank you. But Steve, thank you again. I'll let you say goodbyes to the viewers in the chat if you want, or anything you want to promote. Go ahead.
Thank everybody for coming in to see Ray's show, and nice seeing everybody here. And Ray, thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Steve. I had such a great time flying with you and Dre, and obviously my son and his wife down there at Dana Point Harbor. It was really a great place to fly. I had told you that already, and it's right on up there on one of the best places I've ever flown. And the company was good too.
That was the best.
but let me just say, don't forget, support each other's channel, guys, and watch everybody's live show when you have the time. It really means a lot to us. And thank you all for tuning in. I know it's dinner time, but And thank you again, Steve and Ron, if you're listening. I appreciate it. So I'll be on again next week. So we'll see you next week. And get out there, fly for fun, and fly safely. And enjoy your week.